Good afternoon. I want to thank everybody who joins us. My name is Olga Atamanov, and Ukraine Media Center Ukrinform continues its operation. It's day 565 of the full-scale invasion of our homeland by Russian aggressor, and traditionally I want to thank the representatives of all the mass media who tell the world the truth about this war. And now we will be talking about celebration of Rosh Hashanah. Traditionally, during this period, before the full-scale invasion, a lot of adherents were coming to Ukraine. So how this holiday will be celebrated this year, let's talk about it with Iryna Rybnytska, Executive Director of the Charitable Foundation of the Historical and Cultural Center of Uman. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So what is the number of people that we expect to come to Uman this year, if there will be any? Well, unfortunately, this year the celebration of Rosh Hashanah will be under conditions of the full-scale war in Ukraine, and it creates some specificities for the pilgrimages to Ukraine. The pilgrims will come only using cars, flying to other countries. So this year the way will be way longer than it was before. We expect to have more pilgrims this year than during previous years. The preparation for celebration of Rosh Hashanah is underway, and it's about to end after several months of preparation. So Miss Iryna, you're saying that this year we expect a bigger number of pilgrims. Can you please remind us what was the number of pilgrims previous years? And let's talk about the security measures. Last year, more than 22,000 pilgrims arrived at Ukraine. And what about the security measures? How is security organized? And are the pilgrims already coming in groups to Ukraine? This year, the preparation for the celebration of Rosh Hashanah was at the highest level. It was headed by the head of the Special Government Service for Ethnopolitics, and all the special services processed their security protocols. All the restrictions are already in place or about to take effect in the center of Uman. I mean the restriction of movement in the pilgrimage zone, the necessity to carry ID, the necessity to adhere to the rules of the curfew. There is a restriction on sale of fireworks and other toys that may be looking like any kinds of weapons. Miss Iryna, talking about the shelters available in Uman, are they ready to receive this immense number of pilgrims? Well, there are details about the number of shelters in the zone of pilgrimage, but there are also other shelters across Uman which should be available for everybody who would like to take shelter in case of necessity. We have questions in the studio. Microphone, please. Yana Lukashenko, Ukrinform. Can you please tell us what is the approximate number of pilgrims to arrive to Uman, and from what countries will they be coming? Well, usually the pilgrimage to the city of Uman is of international nature. The majority of pilgrims are from Israel, about 80%. The rest of the pilgrims usually come from United States, and different pilgrims from a number of European countries. As to the number of pilgrims, we cannot give you the exact figure now, but we expect to receive at least not less than the last year, or maybe even more. Yeah, but there should be the lists coming beforehand, and through which checkposts in the border the pilgrims are about to be coming. Well, about the lists, there are no restrictions on collection of data, which means that people traveling to Ukraine are not supposed to submit any lists with personal data before. Their movement is non-restricted. Talking about... Okay, can you please repeat the question? I missed your second question. Well, will there be any buses organized to receive the pilgrims, and through which checkposts will they be coming? The majority of the pilgrims will be coming through Moldova and 3 more European countries: Poland, Romania, and Hungary. Yes, there are measures in place. All the services are preparing to receive the pilgrims. They know what is the exact number of people who need to cross the border. The border guard service has relevant details too. All other services, they take security measures and process all the necessary information. Miss Iryna, do we know anything about the reinforcement of police in Uman? Any additional measures will be taken in this area? Just like the previous year, the pilgrimage zone is limited. The access to the center of the city is contemplated through a number of alleyways through the borders of the city. Also, there are special ways to receive Ukrainians and other guests of the city. As to the reinforcement of security measures, obviously there will be such measures in place because we have to be prepared, and there are special units allocated for this. We have to be ready to any events. This is why there is a screening of personal belongings of those who are about to be coming, and prohibited items will be seized. Ms. Iryna, during previous year, the law enforcement representatives from abroad were taking part in the reinforcement of Uman police. Well, every year, usually a couple of Israeli police persons come to Uman, but they don't come in big numbers. This year there will be 2 of them, and they mostly exercise the function of communicator and negotiator in this process, like a liaison. This is why all the security measures are taken by the National Police and National Guard of Ukraine, and also there are representatives of the Security Service of Ukraine taking part in those processes. Well, you have certain communication with the pilgrims. Did the war in Ukraine influence their arrival? Well, we have to understand that for the pilgrims, visit to Uman is a holy thing. Rabbi Nachman said that if they meet the new year, Rosh Hashanah, if they meet the new year in Uman on his grave, the year will be happy for them and full of joy. This is why they believe that their Holy One will protect them, and I think that they really trust in the armed forces of Ukraine, just like we all do. And third, for them it's not a matter of restrictions or some limitations. Their will to come and visit Ukraine is so intense that it does not depend on any factors. Thank you very much for this broadcast. Thank you very much for finding time. I'm reminding you, joining us was Iryna Rybnytska, the Executive Director of Charitable Foundation of the Historical Cultural Center of Uman. Thank you for being with us. Our team is preparing the schedule for tomorrow, so stay tuned, follow our announcements. Let's continue working for our victory. Glory to Ukraine.